Welcome everybody to the second session as part of SARA's virtual webinar series. We had a session this morning by our archaeology, paleontology and meteorites unit, which was fascinating to see the work that's being done in the interior of South Africa with some of the archaeology that's happening there. In this session, we're transitioning to the marine space and underwater cultural heritage, and it's being hosted by us, the MUCH unit. So I'm just going to give a very brief introduction before we jump into the webinar formally. So our speakers for the day are Lisa Lagrange, our manager, who is in the office here with me, as well as another heritage officer in the unit, Breege Williams, who's also here in the office. And then we have three guest speakers who will be joining us today. In the office with us is Jaco Boshoff of Zico Museums, and joining us virtually, there will be Dr. Jonathan Sharfman from the New York University, Abu Dhabi, as well as Vanessa Maitland. And then we'll also have two video inserts, one by our CEO, Advocate Lungisa Malgas, as well as one by our Executive Officer, Ms. Mamakomoreng Nkasi Lesoana. The program for today, just to give you a quick overview, we'll start with our CEO giving you a warm welcome video insert. Then Lisa will give you an introduction to who we are in the unit and the work that we do, because we know that there might be a few of you joining us today that don't know us fully. Lisa will then move on to a presentation on fish trap sustainable management, and I'll then run over some of the interesting work we've been doing in the marine spatial planning sphere. Breege will then give us a take on the Cape Shipwreck Survey project, which is a really interesting project that's been running for 2 years, and I think people quite enjoy that kind of stuff because it's us diving. Then we'll go into our guest speakers, starting with Jaco Boshoff, who will give us an overview of the South Jose project. Jonathan Sharfman will then be joining us, and he'll be giving us a run on maritime landscapes. And then our final guest speaker, Vanessa Maitland, will finish the session off by running over her master's research, which is on the barrel wreck in Table Bay. And then we'll have a specific Q&A session planned. So please, if you have any questions throughout any of the presentations, please jot down the questions, note them, and we'll have time dedicated to answering these right at the end. And then we'll have Komi coming in, our executive, to do a thank you and closing remarks, and then I'll formally bring the session to a close. So that's what's happening. Thank you very much. And without further ado, we can jump into the video insert by our CEO. Thank you.
CEO of the South African. Thank you all for joining us today as that celebrates the indigenous languages of is so extremely important to us.
Apologies, everyone. So we've had some trouble with load shedding. We're just waiting for our backup energy to come online. So there's just a small delay at the moment, so please just bear with us. We saw that there have been some questions in the chat already. As I said, please just hold them off till the end. But as for that question, that is a quick one to answer. The webinar will be recorded on YouTube, so it's also being live streamed there currently. I hope with the power cut that will still be happening, but it should be available on YouTube to use afterwards, because I know some of you might also be encountering load shedding trying to watch this webinar series. I'm just checking with our moderators whether the video is up and running and working.
originated in our beautiful land. We come from a window into lives of the earliest ancestors of the indigenous knowledge systems, which have been preserved, are also a vital part of our heritage. This year's Heritage Month webinar series is taking place in the shadow of COVID-19, which has taken massive toll on human life, communities, and on our economy. As the world recovers from the battle against COVID-19, we are encouraged by the United Global to beat the virus. It shows that through collaboration and cooperation, we can achieve and overcome anything on this planet, which is why we are